Well, hey friends, this is Jennifer, and this is the Jennifer Allwood Show, the podcast for women who want to find freedom in both their life and in their business. I own a multi-7-figure-a-year coaching business. I'm also a certified life coach. So I have the honor of helping thousands of women every single month make money in the online space and help them to get unstuck from whatever is holding them back, all without sacrificing their faith or their family. In this show, you're going to get the very best life and business advice, always with a healthy dose of Jesus. So buckle in, my friend. I'm so excited that you are here. Well, hey friends, it's Jennifer. Welcome back to the podcast. This is podcast episode number 294. We're going to be talking today about 5 things I wish I had known that I would need to do, or just things I wished that I would have known before my business scaled. I just was thinking of something. I always think of something funny right at the beginning of my podcast. I just said to you guys, hey guys, this is Jennifer, as if there's going to be somebody else here talking. I mean, maybe one day I'll just have Jason come on just to shock you all. Maybe I'll let it be my daughter, Ava. Who knows? But I'm like, hello, Captain Obvious. This is Jennifer on the Jennifer Allwood Show. Okay, back to the podcast, 5 things that I wish I knew before my business scaled. Okay, so let me just give you the tiniest bit of history about my business, okay? Back in the year 2000, I started my decorative painting company called The Magic Brush in Kansas City, and ran that company until the year 2017 when I closed it. But, we grew that company into a multi-6-figure-a-year business. It was amazing until it wasn't. And I got to where God had completely shifted my focus, my passion, all the things from painting and decorating to teaching other women how they could make money online using their social media as well. And so in 2017, we decided that I was going to, actually, I'm so sorry. It was like 2015, my apologies, when I launched like my first DIY videos and had a couple courses, et cetera. And in the online space, I went from $0 to $100,000, 6 figures in 14 months. And I was like, holy smokes. I think this was back in, what did I decide? 2015? Could have been 2014. Then the next year, I know we jumped to 300,000 a year. Then the next year was $500,000. And then in 2018, I know we hit $2 million in sales, which was really a pivotal, words are hard, a pivotal moment, and just a pivotal time in my business in 2018. So here we are in 2022. And I can tell you that every time we take major leaps from, one amount of income a year to another, it can feel vulnerable and new things pop up. I will also tell you, I don't like the saying new level, new devil. Why? Because it basically says that we anticipate issues. We anticipate resistance. We just like new level, new devil makes me just think that at every level, there has to be like this total fight and other things to overcome. And to some degree, is that actually true? I mean, yeah. But on the other hand, like, I don't want to just set you guys up to like anticipate that. Okay. So at every level, there were new challenges that arose and new things that popped up that I wouldn't have known at a different level. And you probably don't know at whatever level you are right now because you've never been where you're going. And it's so interesting when people are like, well, I don't know what to expect. Well, I didn't either. And guess what? Like, even though I'm giving you this podcast right now, the truth is it will probably look different for you. And who knows what it'll look like for you and who knows how different it may be. And so even though this is all fine and dandy, like a hard candy Christmas, I just like, there will be things that you still have to go through and experience and think through and overcome at whatever next level God has for you in your business. So I just want you to know that. Okay. I know that when I was growing, I went from feeling super overwhelmed from doing everything myself to now I was super overwhelmed because I was responsible for the people I was hiring to do it for me. I went from, having a fear of staying broke to now having a fear of losing everything. God's really worked that out in me. I am confident we will never worry about money again, but that was a real thing. If you've come from being broke, by the way, you will understand that fear. To then now you have money. What if you lose it all? I went from having to manage myself to now having to manage a team. I had to shift from like eventually making 100,000. How do I keep 100,000? I had to shift from making $1 million to how do I keep $1 million? There's so many things that, by the way, the gurus don't tell you. Like if your expenses are too high, like you can make $1 million, but you hardly keep anything. If your expenses are too high, but you're paying everything out in affiliate launches, like then, that's just the stuff nobody tells you about. It sounds super sexy to say, we had our first $1 million year, whatever. But the truth is, if too much is going right back out the door, it would almost be better for you to have a $300,000 year and keep every cent of that. So, and by the way, the industry average, if you kind of want to know where you are in terms of average, and I am happy to report that we are well above average, but the industry average is about 25%-ish of what is made in the online space you want to be able to keep for yourself. So if that means that you have, $100,000 a year, that's after paying yourself, after paying anybody that works for you, after paying ads, after paying, all the different softwares and subscriptions you have, that you would want to just pocket 25% of that. That's kind of the industry average. So let's make sure that we're higher than average. Okay. All right. So, we had this huge jump from the $500,000 a year to $2 million a year. And it honestly, I remember that year back in 2018, and it created a huge mess. We had gone from 700 people in my monthly membership, which was $47 a month, to 1,800 people in my monthly membership in a 10-day period, because I had my membership was always open. And my business coach, Stu McLaren at the time, had said, Jen, you got to close the doors. And I was like, no, Stu, you don't understand. I'm trying to get more people in. And he's like, if you want to get more people in, close the doors. And I'm like, what? So I told people I was closing the doors, and we had 1,100 people that joined us, bringing us to 1,800 people total in there. That's when, that mentor or that membership program, it was after that Forbes featured me in that, which is really cool. You can Google that if you want to see it. But it was really a cool period of time. And yet things went crazy. I had to hire people really fast. I had to just fill seats with warm bodies, because you don't know what you don't know. When you 4 times your revenue like that, in just a few day period, I'm like, oh my gosh, I just was band-aiding things all over the place. Who can I hire that can do this? Who can write some emails? Who can post some stuff on social media for me? Who can do whatever? And so then was just filling seats with warm bodies. And then eventually you have to move people around and blah, blah, blah. And so listen, I know growth sounds amazing, and we all want growth. I mean, I'm ready to go to the next level this year. But it will come with some things that if I can help you just a little bit, prepare for them, I'll feel like I have done my job. Okay. So 5 things that I wish I had known before the growth came that would have made the growth just a little easier. And I don't care if you're making $1,000 a month and trying to go to 10,000 a month, or if you're at 10,000 a month and you're trying to go to 100,000 a month. I still think that this will apply. Okay. So number 1, your focus has to change. Anytime you are growing in your business, here's some things that can happen. Okay. Number 1, people may not be happy for you. They just won't. They could be jealous. They're going to want to plant seeds of fear. Are you sure this is a good time for you to be starting a business online? What are you going to do about insurance? What if there's a recession? All the things. You may be shocked that people even super close to you may not really support you. You may be shocked that people may want to use you. They will want to leverage whatever it is you're building. Hey, I just saw you hit a couple thousand people on your Facebook page. Would you mind giving a shout out to my, network marketing company, to my lawn care company, to whatever. So don't be surprised if that happens. You're going to have to choose what you focus on, because it can't be on those sorts of things. You can't focus on how you're getting bad BM. Let's leave that. Okay. Zeke, when you listen to this, do not edit that. I meant a bad DM, but a bad BM is hysterical. Okay. Somebody send me a message on Instagram. Let me know that you giggle too. Okay. But if you get bad DMs on Instagram, that can't be enough to derail you. People close to you who may not be super happy for you, that can't derail you. You can no longer focus on your feelings if you're going to be having some growth. Number 2, you're going to have to quit people pleasing and focus only on the call of God in your life. Because when those things in point number 1 happen, you may find that you're going to have to do some adjusting. Because people that you thought would perhaps be happy for you won't. And then it's going to, there's emotions, there's still feelings. We're not dead inside, right? We're still humans. So you may have to get some decent counseling. You may have to get some healing for the orphan spirit that you maybe have carrying around. You may have to get some healing for the fact that you're a people pleaser. You might have to get over the fact that you're afraid to upset people. You might have to get over the fact that you want to do everything yourself so that people cannot disappoint you. And And so those are all things that you're going to have to like heal. You're going to have to quit people pleasing and just focus on what God is calling you to. Point number 3, you're going to have to let go of thinking that anybody else is going to care about your business as much as you do. So when you're hiring people, you hire even my people to come work for you, like my virtual assistants from Businesses. If you're hiring, somebody to be on your sales team, if you're hiring somebody to write emails, if you're hiring an executive assistant, if you're hiring somebody locally, like you can't expect them to care about your business as much as you do. God gave it to you. He gave you the call. He gave you the vision. He did not give it to them. And so it's yours to steward, and you have to get over the fact that nobody else is going to care about it as much as you do. And that's the way it will always be. And by the way, it's the way it always should be. If there comes a time when the people working for you care about your business more than you do, it's probably a good time to look at if you even still want to have that business or should have that business. So there's that. Point number 4. You may have to, if you're going to have some growth, you may have to look at up-leveling your friend group. You might have to look around, look at getting around people who are more like-minded. You may have to spend money to get into the rooms with people who will understand where you are. This is one of the things I love so much about my mastermind, the women that are in my mastermind, the next level mastermind. I have, 50 some women in there. I love that. And the reason I love it, and this is the reason I belong to 2 masterminds, is because I've got to be around people who speak my language, who understand the what being in the online space, what it involves. I can't expect to speak to, my siblings who are not online, or girlfriends who are not online, to understand things that pertain to the online space. I can still share stuff with them, but I want you to really consider investing in getting in rooms with people who are doing what you're doing. It is mind-boggling to me, literally mind-boggling. And by the way, I'm not pitching my mastermind right now. Okay. So let me put that out here. But how many of you have never invested in your business? And then you roll into my DMs and you're like, my business isn't growing, wah. And I'm like, well, are you investing in any knowledge? Well, no. Are you in any sort of business groups at all where you're learning things? I'm not. Why not? I don't have any money to spend. Well, you don't have any money to spend because your business isn't growing. And your business isn't growing because you're not doing all the things that people who grow businesses do. I mean, I know that's really hard to hear, but so many people think that they're going to spend $0 building their business, switching their business from a hobby to a full-time income. They're not going to put any money out and just going to have all this money magically come in. It doesn't work like that. You're going to have to pay somebody to do some things that you are not smart enough to do. Newsflash. You thinking you are smart enough to do everything comes from a place of pride. It just does. And trust me when I say I've had to get over my own darn self too. So I'm not saying anything to you that I haven't had to say to myself. You're going to have to put some money out to have people come alongside you and fix some things you've made a mess of, to actually get that website up and going. You're going to need to put some money out to actually have things like Zoom available to you so that you can do some consulting or some training classes. I know you don't want to pay for it. Listen, if you had a traditional 9-to-5 job, and if I still worked in corporate America, I would have to get in a car that I paid for every month and drive it downtown, which means gas money, and park it in a garage where I had to pay to park it, and eat lunch out every day, which is also money, and then drive home every day, which is also gas. Like, that isn't free either. Going to work for somebody else is not free. Why do so many people think that it should just be, they should be able to get on Facebook, which is free, get on Instagram, which is free, and like make all this money without any money going out? There are still expenses that come from owning a business. Wow, I'm preaching now. There are going to be software systems you need, apps you need to spend money on, ways that advertise, such as Facebook ads, Instagram ads, whatever, that you've maybe never thought of before. Get in a stinking business group. Get around women who think like you do. Get around people who are trying to do the same thing you're doing. You can't just be sitting at home wondering why you're not growing. I'm telling you why you're not growing. I'm telling you why you're not growing. And I love you. And I love you. Get around some people who are a hype squad, who are going to support you, who, because you're thinking, okay, when I launch my clothing boutique, all my friends and family, they're all going to buy things from me, maybe the first time. And then the second time you have a drop or, a new line of things for fall or whatever, you're like, okay, I'm ready. They're all going to support me again. And maybe they will, but also maybe they won't. And that's okay. If you are dependent only upon your closest friends and family to build your business, you are focusing on the wrong thing. I don't know that even one of my family members or friends has ever bought one of my training programs. you're going to have to invest in some other people and in some other relationships. You're going to have to pay to be in rooms, to be in masterminds, to be in classes where there's other women who are in your industry, in your niche, who think like you do. And you can promote one another, not because it's gross and slimy, but because it just makes sense and it's a win-win and you know each other now and you want to do right by each other and you want to support one another. Whew, that was point number 4, up-leveling who you're around. Number 5, you're going to need some additional revenue streams when your business is up-leveling and when your business is going to the next level and scaling, so that you don't feel super stressed out to just keep that one thing going. If you have no idea what else you could do. So let's take that example of the clothing boutique. Okay, go to jenniferallwood.com/quiz right now. Take my quiz. It'll tell you. Let's say you are a furniture painter and all you've ever done is paint furniture. Listen, you could have a furniture painting group online. You could teach a painting course about furniture. You could do one-on-one consultations. You could consult people for color things or problems they have with their painting their furniture. You could have a blog that you monetize. You can represent a paint company. Like, I could do this all day, friends. I literally can do it all day. Go to jenniferallwood.com/quiz. It'll give you an example of another revenue stream, because it's super stressful to people when they only make money in one way. And you want to leverage one of the biggest ways you're going to scale is you're going to leverage what you already have, and you're going to be able to make money in a different way. Let me give you an example. When I had my paint finish of the month group, so it was $47 a month for a long time. We had over 400 women in that. That's just one of my 2 membership groups. I would teach people how to do a paint finish. So they're paying me every month to be in the group, right? I would give them the affiliate links of where they could go to get the sanding block for the piece of furniture, to get the paint for the piece of furniture. So then I would get paid for that. Often those paint companies would sponsor me for videos, or I'd have places like Hobby Lobby. They would pay me to go into their store and shop. So like it was making money in more than just one way. They were in my painting group, but I was also making money on supplies, but then I could also use some of the content to do sponsored things. I could put some of the instructions for free on my blog, and I get made ad revenue. If reels had been a thing back then, I could have been putting like little mini reels on of painting something on both Instagram and Facebook and been making money on them like I am right now, or on the TikTok or what have you. So like, stop thinking about just your business in one way. There are so many ways to make money in the one industry, in the one niche, in the one thing that you do really well, but just figuring out other ways to monetize it. Like, if you think about, here's a good rule of thumb for those of you that like math and you like statistics. If you'll think about like one thing that you do right now, like let's say my $47 a month paint business that I used to have, right? Well, kind of the rule of thumb that I learned from Perry Marshall years and years and years ago is that about 25% of those people would pay about 4 times that amount. 25% of those people. So when I had 400 people, that would be 100 people would have paid 4 times the $47. So let's just say for easy math, that was $50. Okay. So it's easier for me. So 100 people would pay $200 a month to do something with me. Ooh. And then 25% of them, so that would be 25 people, would pay 4 times that. So 25 people would pay $800 to do something with me. And then like 6 of those people would pay $3,200 to do something with me. Does that make sense? See how I'm setting that up? So that's kind of just a rule of thumb with marketing, but there are so many different ways that you can be making money. So let me just recap here real quick. Okay. When you are scaling, I just want you to know that money changes everything. People may get weird. So when you're up leveling, the 5 things that you need to know about growth is, number 1, you need to focus on things that are going to grow your business and not focus on a lot of the drama around you. Stay above the fray. Number 2, you're going to have to quit people pleasing and focus on the call of God in your life. Number 3, you're going to have to quit thinking that everybody's going to care about your business as much as you do. They don't. Number 4, you might have to up level who you're around. And number 5, add on some additional revenue streams. Go to jenniferallwood.com/quiz. It'll give you some ideas. Okay. All right, friends. I hope that this was super duper helpful. If you have any questions about scaling your business or any business questions at all, you can go to jenniferallwood.com/ask. Did you know that? And submit a question that I can answer on the podcast for you. So go to jenniferallwood.com/ask, and I'd be happy to try to answer that on the next podcast. All right, friends. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Friend, thank you so much for listening to the podcast again this week. I'm so honored that you come back for every episode. and that you share the Jennifer Allwood Show with your friends and family. Every time I see you guys post about it on Instagram or Facebook or something, it just makes me do a little happy. So thank you. Make sure that you subscribe to the podcast if you never want to miss an episode. So you can go to Apple Podcasts or Stitcher or Spotify or any of the other podcasting places and subscribe each week so that every week you get the new episode when it releases. So just know that I love bringing you relevant content. I love bringing you great guests. And one of the ways you can help us here at Team Allwood is by leaving the podcast a review. So if you have just a second to do that, would you go over and leave a review for the Jennifer Allwood Show? Thank you again. You're amazing. I'm honored to be here. Until next week. Bye-bye.